Hello and welcome to Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey. Thanks for joining me today as always. We've got a little easy project today. We're going to put a new NACA duct right here on this vent window of the Bojangles truck so we can get a little fresh air down to our cooler for the transmission and rear end. So stay tuned. If you saw our last video, you know we did the vent window over here on this side, on the driver's side, get a little fresh air to the driver. Got that put in last Saturday. And I did a little bit unorthodox. I did it with the windows in place. This is real tight over here. I was actually considering making a brace and putting the duct here, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it back. I've already marked out where it needs to go. So we're going to cut it on this line here, then we'll come back and paint it and get it in place. But again, this is not probably the best way to do it, but it will give you an idea how I do it. It worked real good the other day. You do get a little mess inside the truck, but luckily it's all just pretty much dust. So we're going to go ahead and cut this out here, and we'll just use a hole saw and get us a couple big spots, and then we'll grind it out with my cutoff wheel. And we'll start on that now. Okay, now we're just going to put our unibit on here. Just open these up. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of professionals out there who do this a lot better or a lot different way than I do. I'm just a dumb old dirt track racer in Louisiana, but these are my two tools of choice. I love these cutoff wheels, these pneumatic air wheels, and man, they're just so handy. This duct here should be large enough. We're actually going to use a straight one again. Then I've got a little special tool I'll show you in a minute whenever we do the corners. But we'll go ahead and start cutting this out now with this one here. Makes a really nice cut. And the cool thing about this is when it cools off, when it cools off, is that you just snap that melted part off and it doesn't leave any residue. So that's why I like doing this. Okay, we got this thing cut here. There we go, that's simple. So, got that out now. Go back now and start getting closer to our line. I'm gonna get my special tool I use for that. We'll show it to you. All right, we're gonna take this one here now, this air grinder. It is, I really love this thing. Just the way it's built, it's a lot easier to handle and maneuver, especially in the corners. Obviously, we've got to be real careful we don't get outside the line we marked. All right, on our other projects, I know you've seen me use this Craftsman. This is rotary die grinder by Craftsman, and this is what a lot of head porting guys use when they port heads, cylinder heads. And what we've got, I put a sandpaper head on here, and just gives you a lot more control when you get close to your cut line. But you gotta be careful, this thing will still cut. You always wanna make sure you go in the correct direction of this thing. If you go the wrong direction, it'll dig in. So we'll go and start cleaning on this now. right, that looks actually better than the one I did last time. Just gotta be slow and careful, because this thing will eat up a lot of material. You see, I can just snap this off now, and it's relatively clean. I may have to take a blade in a couple places and get it. The slower you go, the less it melts. But you see, you just pull these pieces off and they just snap off. If you can see there or not. Anyway, so we'll get this cleaned up and let you look at it. Pliers like this work really, really good as well. If it's too hard for your fingernail to get off, you just pinch on it real easy. You don't scratch it at all, and it'll come off like that. Okay, our next tool we're going to use is a deburring tool. And boy, this is just a must-have. If you're doing aluminum work on a race car, you got to have one of these. But it also works on Lexan as well. Gives you a nice smooth edge on the inside. Got to get you one. Okay, we have everything blown off and it looks good now, and no sharp edges. Everything is smooth. Pulled all the protective plastic off of our vent here. We're going to go ahead now and install it with some Clecos, some 1/8" Clecos, and I'll tell you why we're going to do that here in just a second. But we're going to get these started and we'll be right back with you. Okay, let me give you a close-up of this real quick. The reason you want to go ahead and drill these now and put all these in position is because if you drill them after you paint this, and some people try to mount them, well, I've seen people mount them after they're painted and start trying to drill holes. The plastic gets caught in between there and you can't get it out. So you want to put all your holes in your NACA duct, then smooth it off, then paint it. When you put it back in there, it's ready to be pop riveted. So that's why you want to do this now, to keep from getting the drill pieces in between the window and your NACA duct. I got 2 of those that need to be thrown away. There we go. All right, there's all of our holes drilled now. Take these back out. You don't have to go all the way around with your Clecos. You just have to go far enough to hold it so you can drill the rest of them. Now, what I was talking about, this is what gets in between your glass. So you come back, just knock all this off like that. Then you won't have that crap in between your window, and you won't be able to see it from outside. So let's get this taped up and get it painted. We'll be ready to install it. Okay, we got this thing painted and got our tape off of it. I prefer to use gloss black now. For years I used flat black, but I think the gloss black looks a lot better. So we're going to carefully get this in here. Got our 1/8" rivets here ready to go. I'm on, like I say, you don't want to scratch it because the paint's just a little bit green still. And see if we can get one there. I'm using these long 1/8 inch rivets. That one's not wanting to go in. I'll have to take my rivet gun and try to force it in. There we go, that one. Okay, now the next thing, make sure you use backup washers. You have to use backup washers. There we go. See if I can get this one forced in down here. There we go. So sometimes it takes a little pressure. Okay, we'll go and get this last one up here, and then we'll go around and get them all in. I won't bore you with all the details on that. Okay, get the rest of these in. I'll let you look at it when it's done. Alrighty then. Don't that look nice? Man, that is really, really nice. Turned out great. I'm gonna get some new hose clamps for in here. Those are kind of old. But that is how you get some fresh air down to your 2 coolers down there. So, there it is. Another step closer to being done with this thing. Well, that's how I installed NACA duct vents, and right or wrong, hopefully it'll help you pick up something on your project. But as always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. We continue to grow, and I'm thankful to you for that. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. God bless you. You take care.